Today we will analyze Bitcoin, do a top-down analysis, look at the yearly candles, monthly candles, weekly candles, and break everything down all the way to the current local situation. We will break down the plan for the next years, for the following midterm years, and see where the Bitcoin price could go and how these can be monetized. First, today I looked at the charts from different angles and perspectives. There is an interesting theory and interesting assumptions that I'm ready to voice and share. Let's start with the background story, then move to the chart, and then return back to this story. The story is about our beloved President Trump. He is now in his second term. As you know, he is the president. The first term was, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere from 2017 to 2021, and then officially from 2025 until the end of 2028. Let's look at the charts within this time period. Here we have the period of Donald Trump's presidency starting in 2017. We see a fairly strong bullish candle. Then in 2018 we get a bearish one. Then again in 2019 we have another bearish year. And in 2020, before the end of Donald Trump's presidency trend, there is a fairly strong markup in Bitcoin. Then we have Biden, that's not very interesting to us, that is another story. Next year is 2024. The opening of 2025 shows the first bearish candle, and then we can again see potential downside. Now we are going to talk about the charts and why there may be potential growth afterward. But let's talk here about how all of these can actually happen. Look at the chart. If we look at history, let's even start from here. We had the first inefficiency. The yearly price continued its upward movement and formed a new inefficiency. We then come back and test this yearly inefficiency. We test the previous high, the level around 19,666. This is 2017. We come back, test these two zones and continue the further upward movement. What do we have at the current moment? We are once again forming a new block, just like we did here before. And now we are forming the same type of block. It has already been formed, and at the same time we have the formation of this imbalance. The situation is similar. Here we see the high that was set in 2021. This level is around $69,000. It falls exactly into the yearly imbalance area, which makes it logical at the current moment to expect and see a potential decline into this zone interaction with this level. That is, you should remember a fairly simple logic of how charts work with key levels. Key levels can include fractals, supports, resistance levels, the beginning and the end of imbalance. Different people mark them in their own way, use different naming and so on. The logic is simple. We have a key level, let's define it, certain key price values, and the price either gets rejected from these levels, reacts to them, or has reacted to this level multiple times before. That is, here we see selling pressure, 1, 2, the level is broken. Buyers collect liquidity, build strength, and impulsively break through the key level. After that, the asset may retest this key level to test the strength of the buyers. At the moment, we have the following. The chart suggests a potential short movement after the continuation of updating the all-time high. And the second point is what I said earlier. Trump will never leave himself in a bad light for the global community and the economic community. Therefore, the expectation is the following. As we saw during his previous term, toward the end of his presidency, we see an impulsive upward move. And now we can assume the same, because the market is cyclical. And in general, we see a very similar situation even on the charts. We see a perspective for a decline next year in 2026 and 2027. We can potentially balance out this entire story and show a recovery. Let's draw this out a bit more clearly. And then we may see a fairly strong markup of the market upwards. All of these can be price cyclical, truly fractal, and in general, this kind of scenario absolutely had the right to exist. That is, the current moment in the global perspective, we are only getting a corrective move. In the medium-term perspective, this is a downward move and a decline. But it's important to understand that all of this will not take 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. This does not mean that you should already open huge short positions right now. No, absolutely not. We can also open both shorts and longs throughout this entire period. Therefore, at the moment, this is only a hypothesis. There are no confirming elements in favor of it yet. This is just an idea. That's why I marked the FVG down here. Some people who are also reviewing these charts may ask, why are you showing that the FVG was tested here when there was no test at this level? Let's demonstrate this to you personally now. Let's zoom in. Here indeed there was no test. That's because we can get the same situation here as well. This is why I see the opening global short position here is illogical and high risk. We have a FVG here. The price can easily not test this imbalance and continue its further expansion upward, leaving the limit orders of large participants in this zone unfilled. Such scenario can absolutely happen and it can repeat again. It's also possible that we will not see a drop below that 2025 low, meaning levels around $74.430 and change. That's the situation. Let's move on. Now let's shift a bit deeper within the top-down analysis. We have looked at the yearly 12-month candle. Now let's move to quarterly candle. This is the 3 months time frame. One candle equals 3 months. What do we see here at the moment? We see that the origin of the move started quite strongly with a test of the nearest zones, further formation of new zones and further expansion with the formation of additional zones. Specifically this block. Let's mark it like this. And here there was also a block, but it was not tested. Why am I marking this block? This block is called SNR. It tested our imbalance. And this low is a strong one, meaning strong by its nature, and it can easily hold selling pressure and continue further expansion upwards. So we have the following picture. Potentially we can move lower below $75,000, but at the current moment we have the right to react to this block. And we can all be in the context that we react to these values and begin forming some kind of upward movement. That's why I said that there is no need to rush and immediately open shorts. Moving to the monthly time frame, let's go lower. At the current moment, we have a high probability potential formation of two interesting zones. The first zone is a fractal point. Remember, the formation of any fractal point is a hint of interest from either the buyer or a seller. The formation of a fractal point inside this block indicates buyer interest at these price levels. The level of $80,500 per Bitcoin was of interest, and we are potentially forming such a fractal here. But at the same time, we also have a sign of selling pressure. This formed imbalance. So essentially, we have two zones. The first is a bearish FVG. The second zone is the fractal. And at the current moment, it would be logical to consider working from one zone to the other. If we test the FVG first, I'm ready to work midterm in the short direction toward the 80,500 level and even towards the $74,500 area. If we sweep the fractal first, I'm ready to work midterm towards the monthly FVG, meaning the $94,500 or $96,000 level, which we have been discussing for a long time. A fairly simple plan. Let's draw it like these two scenarios. As for now, to act here, it's not difficult at all. All we need as traders, if I want to work globally and midterm, is to set one alert here so that when the price comes here, I receive a notification and set one alert here as well. As soon as one of them triggers, I immediately engage and I'm ready to trade. Everything is quite simple, I think clear. Okay, let's move on. As for the more local perspective, the weekly time frame personally gives me nothing at all, absolutely no clues, none whatsoever. The only thing is the potential formation of this block after the retest, of which the price may move toward our monthly imbalance, or you can wait for the price and not rush into opening position. These are my global thoughts on Bitcoin at the moment. Ask your question in the comments, write whether you agree with me or not on the local situation. There are also no changes. Local levels and zones have already been marked in advance from which it's possible to trade safely. Detailed analysis and many setups with entry points, stop losses, and take profits are regularly provided to members of our alpha trading community. As you can see, the year has just begun and we already have started with strong profits across many assets. Join us and earn consistently. All the information is in the description of the video. Share your opinions in the comments, whether you agree with me or not. Ask your questions. I'll be happy to respond.